So I'm from Jamaica. So how many of you here have been to Jamaica? Okay, so we got a few. So when you think about Jamaica, what comes to mind?
Beach.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the same things that come to mind for me. When I think about Jamaica, I think about the warm climate. I think about the nice clear water around the beach. I think about nice white sand beaches. I think about everyone just having a laid back attitude. So that's the environment that I grew up. Unfortunately, some people that have never been to Jamaica are not aware that Jamaica is a third world country. Being that it's a third world country, there are certain things that you'd find in other countries that are available to you that you may not have available growing up in Jamaica. In a previous meeting, we discussed holiday gifts. For example, one thing I can fondly remember is during holiday times, you normally get gifts. During birthdays, you get gifts. But during other times of the year, you may not see any gifts appear during that time. And unfortunately for me, my birthday was in January, so you know what happens, right? You get one gift for Christmas, and then that's it. You don't get any more gifts. And they're like, so I'm like, well, my birthday's coming up. They're like, yeah, but I gave you a really big gift. So that'll serve for your Christmas and your birthday. Okay, fine. So what that led to is, naturally in Jamaica, we'd find things around the house, things around the neighborhood, and you make your toys. A famous toy that we made was, we'd get a juice box, or like an orange juice box or a milk carton. We would basically cut a few pieces of it out. You get a couple bottle caps, you get a piece of wire, you make wheels, you stick it through the box, and that'll be you'll have a nice little truck you can pull around, and that'll entertain a child for hours. Another thing we would do is if you're playing with your soccer ball and your soccer ball suddenly pops, or you'll take that same juice box again, you get pieces of paper, you crush it up, you stick it into that box, you fold the box up, there you go, you have a ball. You can play soccer with that, you can play baseball with that. There you go. So we'll always have gifts. Now, after growing up in Jamaica, I moved away from Jamaica and I moved to New York. So living in New York was a completely different thing. Well, first of all, guess what? I went back to high school. So I didn't have to actually wear a uniform. So that made my day, right? So while living there, another thing I got that I don't get in Jamaica was the cold weather. But of course, while thinking about the cold weather, the thing that was on my mind all the time was, when is it going to snow? Because I've never seen snow before. And that was the big thing. It's going to snow someday, right? So I spent probably about 2 months looking and saying to myself, when is it going to snow? And then you'd say, we would get the forecast. They'd say, we're going to get some snow today. And then we'd get flurries. Oh, flurries. All right, fine. So then, after 3 or 4 times of that happening, finally they said it would snow, and I looked out the window, and it was snowing. So I'm looking out the window, and I can't even believe myself. I want to pinch myself and say, is it really snowing? So I went outside, and sure enough, it was freezing outside. And any of you that's ever been in the cold, it's the weirdest thing. On the coldest day is the most beautiful day outside. You look outside, the sky is blue, it's clear, and you're like, man, I want to go outside and play some basketball right now. And you go out, you're like, oh no, I don't want to play some basketball. It's freezing out there. So you go out there, but I'm so excited that I just run out there, and my mother's like, go get your jacket, put on your jacket, what are you doing? So I ran outside anyway, played in the snow, and then I had a friend of mine, he had a sled, and we went over to Prospect Park in Brooklyn, and we took that sled, we went on a couple of the hills, and we slid down, and it was the best time ever. We did that for probably about an hour to an hour and a half before our fingers started freezing up, and then we had to go back inside and thaw our fingers out. But that probably is the best experience I can think of living in New York. Also living in New York, I started working in the power industry. But my goal by working in the power industry was actually to get out of New York and get somewhere where it was warmer. And finally, I made my way down here to Tampa. So I work at Big Bend Station. Any of you know Big Bend Station? No? Nobody knows Big Bend Station?
Yeah.
Yeah, manatees? Nobody knows where the manatees are? Big Bend Station, that's where I work. So while working at Big Bend Station, I became a supervisor, and I realized how important it was to have good communication. Because without good communication, you really can't get your message out to your people. You can't get them out to do the business you're trying to accomplish. And so that's why I joined Toastmasters, because Toastmasters provides me the opportunity to work on my communication while helping others work on their communications. And as we all know, at this Toastmaster Club, we have fun while we do it. Thank you.